Hey. Hey, Virgo. How are ya? I hope you're doing well. Oh man, I just finished doing Sagittarius readings. That shit was wild. Wow. It was a lot. It took me like an hour to do that, and I did not think that it was going to take that long, but it did. So, here I am, Virgo, sitting on my bed, watching the sunset out my window. And I'm here doing a reading with a new tarot deck because I have no self-control. Just girly things. I hate myself. Oh man. Oh, Virgo. How are you guys doing? Let's see. If you are a Virgo sun, moon, rising, or Venus, this might resonate with you. If it doesn't, that's okay. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. And you can check out your other placements to get further insight. Let's see what else. If you like the video, give me a like. If you wanna, share, subscribe, comment. Tell your friends that you're into tarot and this white girl like is kind of into it. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to say? Probably not. Or probably, but we shall do it later. So, Virgo for Venus retrograde 2018. Oh, that was quick. Sagittarius, it took forever. Virgo, you might be meeting your soulmate during Venus retrograde. I have the Two of Cups, the Soulmate card. I love this card. You might be meeting your soulmate this Virgo retrograde. You might be meeting your soulmate this Venus retrograde. Jess, hold on. What? Okay, can I get it later? What? Can I do it later? Yeah. Thanks. It says your tarot cards. My tarot cards? Yeah. Oh. Is there? Yeah. And then just your mom and then put it in the package. Oh wait, this is for my mom probably. I know. Oh. She ordered books. I'm doing a reading right now. Okay. I'm freezing. Do you want your blanket? I'm good. Where's your mom? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, bye. Oh boy. I'm so sorry, Virgo. I'm so sorry. Okay, so you might be meeting a soulmate this Venus retrograde transit, and I think that is very plausible, very, very plausible. I recently read from JD. I freaking love her. Like, I'm gonna cry. I love her so much. She recently wrote, well, not only did she write a great Venus retrograde thread, which you guys should check out. I'll try to remember to leave that below. But she also wrote, she tweeted, it's something along the lines of, it's very likely that we were going to meet a love interest this Venus retrograde. Not necessarily that we should like move things forward with them, but we're gonna meet them. So keep that in mind, Virgo. There might be someone out there, and a soulmate doesn't necessarily mean a romantic interest. It can, but it can also mean a best friend, I don't want to say mentor, but just someone, anyone, honestly. It doesn't have to be a romantic thing at all. So, let's see. Virgo for Venus retrograde. Okay, that card fell out. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups in reverse. So I kind of see this as taking a few steps back. Because, so normally the Nine of Cups represents, so like even if you look at it at the card, if you look at it in the upright position, you see the woman is kind of, kind of sitting in all of these luxuries and enjoying, like, basking in her luxurious things. I kind of see it as that. Like, you're very satisfied, very content with like all of the things that you have, especially because it's cups. You're emotionally content. You're in you're at a place in your life where you feel good. You feel happy. But since this card is in reverse, I kind of see this as not necessarily, you're not satisfied with something, or I see it as kind of like hesitation, scared of moving forward for some reason. Maybe you're scared to move forward with the soulmate that comes into your life, or with a love interest, or whomever it is, a friend. Maybe you're scared to move on with them. Maybe you are hesitant to do that, or maybe this is very much just the Venus retrograde energy that's coming through, and it's kind of making you reevaluate what makes you feel emotionally fulfilled. Or maybe you simply are questioning what emotionally fulfills you. At the bottom of the deck, I have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, I see this because I remember reading the guidebook earlier. And if I remember correctly, it was the upright position. It was talking about a team effort, collaborative working, someone advising you with something. There's a open communication and advisement, and just giving advice. So with this in reverse, I kind of see this as either a hesitation to listen to that advice, or simply not listening to that advice, or not listening to your intuition, not listening to your inner self, because cups is emotions and intuition and all that shit. So you're not, it's almost like you're not listening to the message that the universe is trying to give you. And you're not listening to the directions in which you are meant to go down to reach this Two of Cups energy. Or maybe you're just insecure about something, or you're questioning whether you deserve all of the luxuries that you have right now, all of the privileges, so to speak, that you have right now. You're questioning whether you deserve it, whether it is temporary, whether it's permanent. It's kind of like you're hesitant to really enjoy what you have right now because you're scared that it's going to go away. And I can understand that. But at the same time, ending is inevitable, and if something is meant to end, then it will end. Um, you can't really stop that. So why for some reason I thought why fear a tsunami when there's nothing that you can really do to save yourself, kind of. That's a really weird analogy, but that really, I just see that as like, instead of fighting against the current, because it essentially just makes everything harder for you. It tires you out, it exhausts you mentally, physically, emotionally, like it tires you out. So why go against the current when you can just float and let the current take you where you're meant to go? So I see kind of you're not really listening to anyone around you because you're kind of just you don't want to listen to anyone around you because you don't want to. You just don't want to. And you're stuck. I feel like some of you may be stuck in this mentality of how long can I enjoy this until it goes bad, until it rots. Like, how long can I enjoy this apple before it starts to rot? And it's like, why worry about that? Why worry about something rotting when you can enjoy the present, when you can presently enjoy that apple, enjoy that fruit, right? Why worry about the bad things when it's not even present? Like, why worry about that? Why worry about the future when you should be worrying about the present? And I think, Virgo, that is especially hard for you because I think that you are such a worrier. You like to worry. You like to be 10 steps ahead at all times. You're very analytical, very calculative, and I think it's difficult for many of you to really just go with the flow of things, and that's why a lot of you may not be particularly happy or content with where you're at, and it's because you're not enjoying what's in front of you. You're always working, you're always like, okay, I have this, but I can do better. I can strive for more. And it's like, well, yeah, you can, but why not just enjoy what you have for now? Why not? I mean, you have all the luxuries, you have all these nice things, you've worked for so much, why not take a break? So I think that's kind of what your lesson is for this Venus retrograde. With the two, I have the Two of Pentacles here, so maybe there is a decision that you have to make. Perhaps this decision has to do with wanting to move forward with that potential soulmate, or holding back. Maybe it has to do with focusing on the future versus focusing on the present. Focusing on the good rather than the bad. Okay, these three, just kind of, I'll take them. Ooh, okay. I have Temperance in reverse at the bottom of the deck, so you might be dealing with the Sagittarius. Okay, so I have the Lovers. You might be dealing with the Gemini as well. So we have Gemini and Sagittarius, so you might just be dealing with a mutable sign. The Lovers, dude. The Lovers and the Two of Cups. There's a soulmate. There's a soulmate connection. They're either coming into your life or you've already met them. I have the Four of Cups in reverse. You're overthinking. Yeah, you're overthinking. You're either overthinking or you're acting indifferent. You're not focused on that. You're trying not to focus on that. Or you're kind of trying to ignore it because like I feel like some of you may not even want it. You don't, you say that you don't want to be in love, or you don't want to have to deal with all of the emotions, with I even feel like you might even have a choice as to who you want to be with. Like, I feel like you have options as to who you want to choose. Like, there's more than one person who is trying to like make you fall in love with them. And maybe that's what this decision is. Maybe you have to choose who you want to be with. And maybe that's like what's causing you to be so hesitant, why you can't enjoy like the present things, because you're like, damn, like I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Yum. So I feel like you're trying to put up a front that you're indifferent, but I also have judgment in reverse. So you might have a guilty conscience about something, and it might have to do with the soulmate connection, with this love triangle that you might be in. You might have a guilty conscience about that. You might have a guilty conscience over the fact that you have so much and you're not enjoying it. Or I keep thinking regression. You're moving forward, not backward. I see that. I kind of feel like you've made so much progress. You've made so much progress, Virgo. Yet you are somehow taking like 5 steps back and basically regressing and kind of going back to square one for some reason. And I think it's because you are either trying to avoid a situation, or you're overthinking it, or because you might have a guilty conscience about something, or there's some sort of lack of balance, because I have temperance in reverse. I have temperance in reverse. So there's a lack of balance, a lack of serenity. You're too focused on the mundane, too focused on earth things. Like it feels like you're not connecting with your spiritual self. You're not listening to the universe. You're not letting the universe not necessarily take control, but you're not letting the universe guide you. You're shutting yourself off spiritually. So you're not able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, or the fruits of your labor. You're not able to really enjoy that. You're closing yourself off. And I think that you're focusing on things that, if this is a love triangle, you're focusing too much on that. Because it's basically a mundane thing, right? It's petty drama, kind of. And it's kind of being dragged out for longer than it needs to be. And I feel like you're trying to put up a front that I'm okay. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I can... Like, you're trying to play a part, like a role that you're trying to play a role that you know isn't true. That it's like you're kind of holding a mask over your face and like not being honest for some reason. And I just feel like there's some sort of, either you have a guilty conscience or the other person has a guilty conscience. And maybe this isn't even a love triangle. I mean, if there is a love triangle, then, but that's your business. But if there isn't, and if you're just dealing with one person, either one of you may feel guilty about something. Or you're not confessing something. You're not being completely honest. And I think that in order for you to enjoy the things that you're receiving, to reach, if you haven't met this soulmate connection, or if you have, but things are not really working out, if you want things to work out, surrender yourself to the universe. Because ultimately, you are one soul that makes up an entire, you are one thing out of a greater whole. And if you try to disconnect yourself from that greater whole, you are taking away the opportunity for you to feel connected spiritually, emotionally, to basically let the universe guide you. I didn't need that many cards either. And I think that with Judgment in reverse and Temperance in reverse, I just feel like there is some sort of reality that you don't want to face, and you're trying to act indifferent towards it or try to ignore it. But I feel like the more you ignore it, the more powerful the impact is going to be once you are basically forced to see the reality of it. I think that you need to open yourself up to perhaps mentorship, or listen to the advice of others. If someone is trying to help you, if someone is trying to give you advice, and they really have the best interest in heart, if they have your best interest at heart, and if the advice is sound, if it's sound advice, like if it makes sense, then take it. Listen to, if it's a person that's trying to give you advice, listen to them. If it's your intuition, listen to your intuition. Your instincts, listen to it. Listen to what the universe is trying to tell you. Don't ignore that. Listen very, very closely. With I have the Ace of Swords in reverse. So there absolutely is a lack of mental clarity. Absolutely. And you might not want to be moving on from something because I have the Six of Swords in reverse. There's something that you don't want to move on from, and it's probably someone from the past. Maybe it's a soulmate connection. Maybe it is this soulmate connection and it's someone from the past. You, for some reason, don't want to move on from them, or you feel a lack of clarity in terms of this person, and you don't want to move forward with this person for fear of something. It's like you're just avoiding it. I just see avoidance, and you're trying to act all tough, and you're trying to put up a front, and it's not helping you. It's really not. I mean, either way, shit's gonna pop off because I have Justice here. Justice is here. So things are going to happen the way they're supposed to happen. And the more you resist, the harder it's going to hit you. And that's it. I mean, it's short and sweet. Someone from the past is coming up. And I think that part of you does not want to move forward with them because of that fear. Perhaps fear of perhaps it's a fear of not being able to completely enjoy it for some reason. Maybe you'll feel like it's a step backwards and not a step forward. Maybe you fear this soulmate connection because there's something that you have yet to face. Something that you have, a lesson that you have yet to learn. Judgment in reverse. There is a lesson that you have yet to learn. I kind of see this as, you know how like in churches, they have like that, I don't know what the fuck it's called, I'm not religious. The thing, right? And like the priest or the pastor or whatever the fuck is in like one part of the thing, and there's like a screen, and then you can go to the other side and be like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. That's like, to me, that's judgment upright. So with judgment in reverse, you're not going through that process of like admitting your sins, of admitting your guilt, or admitting your mistakes, owning up to your mistakes, taking accountability for the shit that you've done, right? You're not owning up to your karma. You're not accepting your karma. You're trying to avoid your karma. So it's possible that either consciously or unconsciously you feel that guilt and you know that you fucked up for some reason, for whatever it is. And so you fear this new relationship because you have that inner guilt. You have that inside of you, whether you're aware of that or not. And so you feel indecisive. You feel very unclear of whether you should move forward with this relationship or whether it's meant to be, or whether it's another trivial thing. And I don't think that you want trivial. You want something fated. Which is, it's so contradictory, because it's like you're avoiding this fated thing, but you want it so bad. Man, okay. But I just feel like it's gonna happen either way. Like, you're gonna, whatever karma that you're not facing, whatever lessons that you're not learning, you're gonna learn them, because what goes around comes around. And with justice here, you gotta own up to it, man. Or this justice card just tells me that this soulmate thing is gonna happen, whether you want it to or not. And I don't see why you wouldn't want it, but it's gonna happen, I think. And it's meant to happen. I kind of see like it's written in the books. It's not set in stone, but I keep hearing it like it's written in the books. It's gonna happen. Like it's happened before, so it's gonna happen again. Like history is being repeated. That's what I see here. That's so interesting. I'm getting very strong soulmate thing here, because I have the Two of Cups and the Lovers. But you're acting like you don't want it, because I have the Four of Cups in reverse, and I just feel like you're acting like you don't want it. Like, whatever. Like someone's acting like I'm picturing someone giving you, like, trying to give you a rose, and you're like, whatever. Like you'll take it, but you're like, whatever. Like, go away now. I got my rose. Oh, that's so funny. And with the Judgment in reverse, it's possible that you have unfinished business with this soulmate connection, and you basically need to tie up any loose ends and find balance within the relationship. Like, balance out the karmic scales. Interesting. This is so funny to me. I don't I don't know why, man. Alright, I think I'm gonna do a final outcome and then I'm done. Alright, so final outcome for Virgo this Venus retrograde season. Virgo, final outcome, Venus retrograde. Okay, one fill out. I have Page of Cups in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse. So with the Page of Cups in the upright position, in this deck, it is someone or there's this sort of innocence that surrounds this card. And it's kind of like this person here, this person is willing to, basically I just see it as, well, okay. If I'm gonna, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the upright position, and then I'll get to the reversed. But in the upright position, it's someone who basically has never experienced heartbreak. There's a very innocent aura about them, a very innocent way of being. Like, they just haven't experienced much. Like, there's optimism, and it kind of reminds me of the Fool, because they're willing to move forward, and they don't necessarily have that forethought, or they just don't have like that worry for the consequences or for whatever. They're just going for it because they're passionate about it, right? So with the Page of Cups in reverse, I see someone who has been heartbroken many times, and it's like they understand the game and they know how things are played. It's almost like war torn. Like they've gone through the war. They've experienced anything. They no longer have that innocence about them. So at the bottom of the deck, I have the Five of Wands the Five of Swords in reverse. And with these two together, I see a resolution to a war. I see forgiveness. I see recuperation. I see healing. So I think that this soulmate connection that some of you may experience, I feel like it's you're gonna go into it already having experienced pain and hurt and betrayal and heartbreak, and you are going to come out of it recuperated. And I kind of see someone, like, all of their battle scars, they're gone. Like, the battle scars are completely healed. Well, not even healed, because it's a scar. You can't heal a scar. But it's just like, you become new again. You are reborn into this new person. Your heart is finally mended. Because before, I feel like you kind of had this tough exterior, and now you learned to let yourself be vulnerable and I think that this soulmate connection is really going to teach you how to be vulnerable and how to love unconditionally and not worry about heartbreak that might occur. So it's like you're finally learning the lesson of living in the present and not worrying about the future, not worrying if you're going to be heartbroken, not worrying if you're going to be hurt, not worrying about whatever. You're finally living in the present and just enjoying the moment that you're living in now. So yeah, that's your Venus retrograde reading. I hope that you enjoyed it, guys. If you wanna, you can like the video, you can share it, you can comment, you can subscribe. If you did like it, let me know. And if you would like a reading for yourself, you can purchase one online on my Etsy shop, and I will leave that linked below. I will also link JD's tweet that I talked about earlier. You should follow her because she's the love of my life. And if you don't want to purchase, but if you want to donate, you can do that as well. And I will leave everything below. And that's it. Okay, I'm done.